Yeah, you have it. Okay, can I take over? Okay. Can I delete this purple line or do you have it? Oh, yeah, it does. Yeah, definitely. Okay. Let's see. Come on. I'm just trying to control it. It's a little bit laggy. Do you like these buttons? Can remove them, no? Isn't that better? Yeah, exactly. Clean up, make everything nice and better. Okay. Now, why doesn't it let me? I want to make this smaller. There we go. All right, now we see everything. Oh, where's the low of the week? There it is. All right, so we're looking at the high ADR, the low ADR. It's a little bit covered, but that says low ADR. You have the low AWR, you have the high AWR. So ADR is average daily range. AWR is average weekly range. Quite literally, what that means is ADR is how much, right now we're looking at gold. So on average, how much does gold move per day, every day? For the weekly, how much does gold move per week, every week? This tells you intuitively, you'll be able to know, oh, gold has it's done its move for the day. It's exhausted. Very unlikely that it's going to keep going. And so there's two ways you can show ADR. You can either show it in pips or just in USD value, which would be like literally price. So as a quick example, this is what I meant by, oh, today's going to be a perfect example for me to teach you this. I've been keeping an eye out on when I could teach you this. Okay, so we go, where's the ruler? If we take the ruler, we go always from the highest point of the day to the lowest point of the day. I want to see how much has price moved in totality, from the highest to the lowest or the lowest to the highest. Why? It's because I want to see, I know on average gold will move $46.29 per day. Of that 46 that it typically moves per day, how much of that have we moved so far? Is there still room for me to sell further? You see what I'm getting at? Is it or are we've already hit the limit? This is not a golden rule limit, but 9 times out of 10 it will respect this. So you'll see if we go from the high to the low, look at that. So from the high to the low, we've already moved $49. So, and we were selling with Ben's signals. Not only was it Friday afternoon, but intuitively now with the ADR, AWR, you'll be able to see, well, we're already at the low of the ADR. So that's telling me we're exhausted or we're oversold because we're already at the low for the day. So that's already telling you that we should have a bias towards entering buys, not yeah, either just TP1 or just wouldn't have entered the trade at all. Because you see, it's already afternoon. We are already up very nice. And none of this is judgment. This is just like learning, right? To get us a learning opportunity. Literally, that's what I'm trying to get out of this. So, yeah. And this not to say change around your strategy, not at all. What I'd like you to get out of this is more use this as a filter to determine one extra tool for you is like, oh, do I like this trade or do I not like this trade? Ben's telling me to sell here, but wait a minute. So Ben's saying to sell here, but we've already exhausted the average daily movement for the day. What is the likelihood that price can go? It's different if Ben said buy here, right? Because yeah, this is where we're looking for buys. We're exhausted, but he said sell. How much more can gold sell if on average we go down $46 a day or up $46 a day? You see where this is going? That's all there is to it. It's literally that simple. And then taking that one step further, the absolute gem is when you have ADR exhausted 2 days in a row. So I don't know if this would show that in the same direction, right? So, and now because you have the lines, you can easily tell, did price go up? Is price trending up? Is it trending down? Or you should have it somewhere. Is it this one? Yeah, I think it's that one. So start of the day. Yeah, so start of the day to the end of the day. I don't care about all the noise in between. Did we go up or down? Down. The second day. Oh, it's only one arrow. Oh, okay. I didn't expect that. Mm, where's the arrow tool? It's one of these. There we go. So here to here, we see it went down. And then the next day, went down again. Not that much. This is definitely not ADR amount, right? It's something, but not really full ADR. But then here, we got a third day in a row going down. So now watch how I combine everything. If we go from the highest point of the week to where we ended up, well, first of all, if we go from, we need to find a high. So I'm going to guess, I can't really see it, but I'm going to guess this was the high over here. We go from here down to the low. We can see, okay, that is 1 day of ADR exhausted. We can agree? $54 is more than 46. Yeah. So that's 1 day ADR exhausted. Remember what I'm getting at, or the takeaway in what I'm teaching right now with this arrow and everything is that if you have 2 or 3 days exhausted back to back in the same direction, beautiful. You're going to get some nice movements. Okay, this one, was it exhausted? Not fully, but a good majority of it, yeah. For a rule of thumb, for days that you're looking to enter, like a reversal or something like that, you want around 70% of the ADR exhausted, 70-80% around there. So 38 out of 46, that's close to the 70%. But here we can definitely agree, you and I, that ADR was exhausted. So we had 1 day exhaustion, another day pretty well exhausted, 38 out of 46. Regardless, it's further momentum down. There's been no breathing up. And then this one was definitely exhausted. So we can agree 3 days back to back ADR exhausted. Now if we go from the top, oh wait, that's not the high. We go from here and we go all the way to the low. So from the high of the week to the current low, right? I'm pretending like we didn't do anything yet, right? So this kind of around this time. What's the thought process here, basically? We see it went down from the high of the week to the low of the week, $113. What is our AWR? 104. So is our AWR, like have we reached the limit of weekly range movement? Yeah, because 113, the amount we've moved from the high of the week, from the high of this week to the low of this week, 113, that's more than 104. Do you see? So what that's telling me is we've already, so again, to bring everything full circle now, what's the whole point of this? We know if we measured from this high on the current day to the lowest point of the current day, so ADR, we know ADR is already exhausted. AWR from the high of the week to the low of the week, we know AWR is also exhausted. Okay, so at this point, before we started entering these cells, what do we know? We know we're already exhausted on the day, we're oversold. We're exhausted on the week, we're oversold. What is the likelihood that we're going to keep pushing down lower? Not very likely. Maybe we'll be able to get a quick TP1 or sell still inside the range, so it's a win. But the likelihood that it'll shoot further, Not very likely. In fact, we'd be looking for buys at this point. And what I've taught you also, Mel, this just observe. Don't change your strategy. This is more to give you the confidence. I'm going to bring everything like what's the application now for this? As you observe this is how you're going to be able to know when to hold on to Ben's trades for longer. To TP2 and beyond, to 200 pips, 300 pips. This will get you on average trades that can last 2 to 3 days if you're able to get that bottom entry. I'm not saying we hold the trade for 2 to 3 days. Actually, on FTMO, we're not even allowed to hold trades multiple days. But if you take a trade early in the day and you see, oh, as soon as we entered, the ADR was exhausted. That was beautiful. Okay, so then we can ride it all freaking day long. You see, it'll probably take some observing, a little bit of practice for you to see that. But this is going to be like invaluable. It's so powerful. We can find we can find another example if you want. So, if we look from here to here, if we go from the low of the day to the high of the day, ADR is exhausted. So should we be looking for sells? Yes, not buys. I would not be looking to enter buys here, up here, because we're exhausted, we're overbought, and ADR is exhausted. There's no ADR space left. No, remember, ADR is the average amount that gold will move per day. We've surpassed that average. So how much more can it realistically go? Nothing. There's no more left. It's out of gas, right? Gotta refuel the tank. So how do we refuel the tank? Pullbacks. And then what happens? So notice this, right? So this is going to be another one, same as before. We have from the open, that's 1 day up, and then 2 days up, same direction, right? I don't care about the noise in between. When I'm marking up these arrows, I'm going from the start of the day to the end of the day, and I'm asking, are we higher or are we lower? Evidently, from the start where we started to where we ended the day, we're higher, right? We've already seen that the first day, ADR got exhausted, right? 55, ADR is 46. On the second day, notice where I'm going to start from is the low of the day. This one is a little bit lower, this candle, than this one, right? So that's why I'm starting here. Go from here, the low of the day, to the high. Try and get that high right here. The wick. I missed a little bit, but it was meant to be right at that wick. 51, even if we're more precise here, you'll see that it'll be the same. It's going to be exhausted again. Yeah, see? So 49.8, you don't need to be perfect when it comes to the ADR and AWR. It's an estimate, right? So you see 49.88, that's more than 46. So that's 2 days back to back of ADR exhaust. Oh, this is going to be perfect. It's going to bring everything full circle now. 2 days back to back. Notice we're closer to the high AWR than we are to the low, so we should be prioritizing sells anyways. We're above the 50% high AWR mark, so this is kind of like your sell range or point of exhaustion for the sells, right? Don't take this as golden rule. It's not to say that price can continue going higher than this. It's just to happen so rarely. It's very, very rare. So this gives you a very solid, but I'm going to show you how we could have got in here and held it all freaking week. You're going to see. So first day, ADR was exhausted. Second day, ADR was exhausted. Remember that, write this down, don't forget. You have 2 days back to back in the same direction with both days having ADR exhausted. On that third day, you're looking for that reversal. You're just waiting for it. Would we be waiting for a buy or a sell, Mel? Exactly. It's already overbought 2 days in a row. Completely, like totally exhausted. We've surpassed the average daily. Maybe even we surpassed the weekly. I don't know. Let's see. We'll go here. The AWR I'm referring to. So we'll go here. We'll go from the, remember, lowest point of the week, highest point of the week. Go low. to the high. I'm assuming we don't know this day yet, right? This day hasn't started. This is actually a great way for you to give yourself a bias. It's like, oh, okay, today I'm going to be looking for sells. Before the day even starts, Mel, you're going to be able to predict, are you looking for sells or buys today? It's so powerful, this. So here, we see from the low of the week to the high of the week, we're around 18. I know I'm a little bit off, but it's okay. It doesn't need to be perfect. Again, it's just, get as close as you can, but doesn't need to be absolutely perfect, like Fibonacci, we want to be more perfect. So this one, 89.21. 104.24. Remember, it's about 70%, right? So that's also AWR exhausted. It's better when the number is larger, especially for ADR, but for the AWR, it's very hard to become fully exhausted. So like 89 out of 104, I'd consider AWR pretty well exhausted, or definitely leaning towards sells. So we have how many confirmations that on, what day was this? Wednesday, we should be looking for a sell. We got ADR exhausted on Monday. Tuesday, ADR exhausted again. That was the golden rule that you got to write down and remember this because it's amazing when this happens. We have ADR got exhausted in the same direction 2 days back to back. Both days, ADR was exhausted. ADR was exhausted. And we're seeing AWR was pretty well exhausted as well. You see that? So we know before Wednesday even started, I'm looking for sells. And chances are once I get that sell, I'm going to be able to ride that sucker to TP2 or beyond. So this, at the very least, is going to give you that confidence of knowing, that continue as you have been, but maybe you leave one trade open or don't change anything. This will at least give you the confidence of sell, buy, get in early, get out early. Like, let's say Ben said buy here. Okay, don't change your strategy is what I'm saying. So if you would have taken a buy before, well, you would have marked up a fib. So I'd imagine you would wait for a pullback. But let's say you did take a buy here. Let's say it hit your zone. Let me ask you this intuitively. Don't overthink the answer. Are you going to hold this to TP2 on a buy or TP1? Or are you just going to look to get your profit and get out as fast as you can? Yeah, let's say you entered a buy somewhere on Wednesday. Yeah, right? You're certainly not going to ride it to TP2. Why is that? This is for a buy. Why is that? It's because you know already. We're so overbought for the week. AWR has been exhausted. ADR was exhausted 2 days in a row. We're due for a sell. These are what I'm teaching is weekly cycles. This happens every single week. This is the manipulation of the banks. This is how they do it. So intuitively, Wednesday starting, I'm already knowing, hey, if I can get a sell, I should be able to ride that to TP2 and beyond if I want to. The only thing, unfortunately, for FTMO, we know we got to close the trade before the end of the day. So go for TP2, something like that. Or don't. And this would don't change anything, but this will give you the confidence of knowing when to get out quick. So like in the case of this sell that happened this afternoon, maybe you would have taken it, right? I know we took it. I'm saying hypotheticals now. Maybe you would have taken it, but because you know now that the ADR was already exhausted, you're not going to hold that sucker for long because you're not expecting it. It doesn't have any more. It can't breathe. Like it hasn't had a moment to breathe, right? There's no more left for it to keep going further. And sure enough, if we reverse this, I think we might have done this already, but this is definitely an ADR exhausted. I can see that. This one maybe, not fully, maybe, but here for sure. So regardless, you got like three. This is probably going to be an AWR. We go from the high. I think this point is higher. Go from the high to the low. It's more or less around there. 114 out of 104. So from this candle here, prior to the sell, we've already exhausted AWR. We know that for the day, we've exhausted ADR. We know that this day we exhausted ADR. Typically, you want the ADRs to be exhausted back to back, unless this day like kind of just flatlined, but it pushed down a little bit. So let's see how much. by push down a little bit, I'm referring to, the start of the day to the end of the day, right? So if we go down to here, oh, look at that. That's pretty well ADR, I would say. Absolutely. Look, 42 out of 46. Yeah, that's exhausted. So look at that. We had 3 days of ADR exhausted back to back, and we had AWR exhausted. What's the likelihood this is going to keep pushing down? Not likely. Not likely. Is this starting to make sense somewhat? Yeah. Like this Mel, it don't don't change your strategy. I really want to stress that because you're doing really, really good. This is just a tool to give you that confidence on in terms of, oh, this is a trade I can hold for a little bit longer, or oh, this is one of those trades that, just get out. Like I know sometimes you just get out before we even exit the zone. This is a case where it'll give you that confidence to, hey, I should just look to get out as soon as I see some profit. So I hope this helps, but it is an extremely powerful tool. Very, very, very powerful. Yeah. And that's all there is. Oh, yep, sorry.